all of a sudden our outlets go out. The electric heater went out, the stove top went out, and so I turned around to Goodbaby and I said, what happened?
Cruising down the highway, windows rolled down. Good mommy and good baby, we wearing the crown. We're living the good life under open skies. Together we shine. Just look in our eyes. Every day's a blessing. Every moment's bright. In our RV home, everything feels right.
Y'all, there is always something going on.
Yes.
Whether good or not so good, something is going on. That's why Goodbaby and I always try our best to upkeep our home, do the necessary things that we have to do, and pray. Because we need God in every situation. As some of you know, Goodbaby and I no longer have, a so-called maintenance person. I mean, we're not renting. We can no longer just call a maintenance man at the spur of the moment. If anything happens in our home,
we're responsible.
We are responsible, okay? And we have to take action. We can't just let things go. So as you all know, Goodbaby and I planned for the historic winter storm that we had the other day. We filled our propane tanks up. What else did we do, Goodbaby?
We also took our winter clothes out of the shed and we charged up our power station.
And we did a whole lot of other things too. We made sure that we had gas in our truck and we made sure that our plants were covered.
Yeah, and we also connected our battery to our travel trailer.
Yeah, so we thought that we had everything, all of our I's dotted and our T's
crossed.
Okay, honey, we came in the house like, thank you, Lord, you allowed us to do that. And he did. So we came in the house later on that night and we were having a good time, y'all. We started watching TV, we were talking, and I asked Goodbaby what she wanted to eat. And she said she wanted a grilled turkey and cheese sandwich. And me not even thinking about us having only 30 amps, y'all, I started preparing the sandwich. We had our electric heater on because it was real cold outside. I'm not that gas girl, okay? I don't like turning on our gas heater. So again, I'm preparing, to make our sandwiches, and I began to plug up our electric stove top so that, I can grill our sandwiches. Well, I plug up the electric stove top, and Goodbaby and I are still chit-chatting, just talking to each other, having fun. And I'm actually grilling the sandwiches on the stove top, and all of a sudden, y'all, our outlets go out. The electric heater went out, the stove top went out, and so I turned around to Goodbaby and I said, what happened?
So at this point, after our electric heater and stove top went out, we were thinking that maybe there was a power outage, especially since the winter storm had already come. It was probably about 20-something degrees outside. It was extremely cold, so we didn't know whether it was the strong winds that had possibly taken the power out or what was going on at that point. But of course, whatever was causing it, we knew that we needed to get a handle on it very quickly because it was cold outside, and so without our electric heater working, we knew that it was going to get cold in our RV really quickly.
Yeah, so I looked up and I noticed that our microwave was still working. And I was like, okay, the microwave is still working. And I said, let me turn the AC on and see if that's still working. Of course, y'all know we didn't need AC.
No.
But I turned the AC on and it was still working. So come to find out, we actually had a partial outlet outage. It wasn't a full outage. And so, as Goodbaby said, we were like, okay, we need our heater working. So I went out to our electrical box to try and see what was going on. I wanted to see if I could see that green light. I wanted to go ahead and turn the power on and off. And then I came back inside to see if our outlets were working again. Well, they were not working. And y'all, I was just like, oh no, okay.
Yeah, because it was already starting to get cold in our travel trailer. Good family. But thank God that he had us prepare for this winter storm by charging up our power stations. And so as this was going on and I saw that turning our electric box off and on didn't work, I said to Good Mommy, why don't we take in one of our power stations and see how long we can have heat off of one of those.
But honey, when I brought that power station in here, it said that it was only going to work for an hour. And Good Baby was like, this is only going to work for an hour.
Yeah, because it was like 11:30, so it's not like it was super early in the morning and it would get light outside very soon. It was kind of like in the middle of the night, so I was like, we're definitely gonna need heat or else it's only gonna continue to get colder in here.
Yes, so Good Baby and I made the decision to go outside and to try and start the furnace, y'all. Lord have mercy, I'm not that gas girl, you all. As a matter of fact, Good Baby and I take showers in our RV resort bathhouse because I'm just not that gas girl, and I'm not afraid to say it. I don't like dealing with gas.
She certainly does not, good family.
But on this particular night, it was freezing outside. It was in the 20s, y'all. And Good Baby and I knew that we were not going to be able to stay in this RV in 20-degree weather. So we went outside. We were able to open the door to the furnace. And the last time we used our furnace was when we purchased it. The gentleman brought our RV over to our campsite and he hooked everything up.
Which was so nice of him.
It was very nice. It was during the nighttime when he finally got to the furnace part, but I was watching him. So I told Good Baby, I remember he pressed that red button a few times and he turned the knob, which was the furnace knob, and he lit an area inside with the long, extended lighter. I mean, I just didn't know if I could do that. I mean, you're dealing with gas here, so you have to be careful.
Yeah, and we did not want to deal with an explosion.
Okay.
So, to make a long story short, after trying to get our furnace on, we ended up not being able to do it because, first of all, the little knob that we need to turn would not turn for whatever reason. It was caught on the red button. And two, we did not want to mess anything up because, as we just said, we did not want an explosion. But we were still determined to get the furnace on, so we came back inside, watched some YouTube videos on how to turn on an RV furnace, and went back outside. We still could not get it, good family.
We sure did. We tried it again.
We tried. We tried with all our might, but it would not turn on. And so we went back inside, freezing cold, mind you. Like, we could literally see our breath. Like, when you can see your breath is like, like mist because it's that cold. It was just that cold. It was 20 degrees. And all this time we had our power station on to charge our electric heater, so that way Victory could be nice and warm in our RV, but time was ticking. So at that point we just decided to sit down and eat because thank you, Lord, that even though our electric cooktop went out, by the time it did, Good Mommy was almost finished with our sandwiches.
Almost finished.
And so at least we were to a point where we could eat dinner, and so we wouldn't be hungry. But we were still kind of trying to problem solve what we were going to do about the situation, because clearly we could not stay in our RV all night in 20-degree weather. That would not have been a great situation for either of us. So after we finished eating, we weren't able to get our furnace on, and the time was running out for us to be able to use our heater with our power station. I thought about Bigma, which is Good Mommy's mother, and I was like, Good Mommy, I think we're gonna have to spend the night at Good Mommy's house, because I know that none of us want to be in 20-degree weather in this RV without any heat.
And as y'all know, I love my mama, but I didn't want to call my mom that late, asking, can we come over? But I know one thing, if I don't know anything else, yes, Jesus loves me. I know that.
Yes.
As well, I know if I call my mama's going to be there for us.
Yes.
You hear me? She is going to be there without a shadow of a doubt.
Yes.
Okay? Honey, I called my mama. And she answered the phone and I said, Mama, we don't have any heat. can we come over? And she said, yes, go ahead and come over, you know, with no problem. After I got off the phone with my mama, honey, I started washing dishes.
Yes, and I was preparing some of the things that we would need to stay over Bigma's house overnight. So for example, like our toothbrushes, clothes to change into in the morning, things like that, to make sure that we were nice and comfortable during our overnight stay.
Yes, y'all. And after we got everything clean, got all of our items together, turned off our electric heater, we closed up our travel trailer, went outside, got in the truck. You talking about cold.
Oh,
it
my
was
goodness.
freezing cold. It was so cold that there was ice on the window. It took us at least a good 10 minutes sitting in our driveway to defrost our windows. It was so cold out that morning. After we defrosted the windows, we proceeded on going to my mom's house.
With the heater in the SUV, by the way, which felt so good.
It did. It felt good. And made it to my mom's house. We went in. She has the most comfortable bed for us, y'all, to sleep in. And we just enjoyed our night at mama's house. The next morning, we talked to mama, you know, had fun, told her thanks, all of that, and came back home. When we got home, y'all know we still had that same issue of no heat, and y'all know it was still cold outside.
Super cold.
Of course, we had another power station in the shed. We went and got that out and brought it in the house, turned that on so that, you know, we can stay hot while we thought about what we were going to do. I turned, looked out the window, saw my neighbor next door outside and someone else who helps him out a lot. And so I went outside and I asked for assistance with no problem. They came over, they ignited our furnace, and after that we were clearly able to use our hot water, which we still use our RV resort bathhouse because we just prefer to take a shower there because, you know, it's a bigger area. Yeah, so they turned our furnace on for us and we had that issue resolved. But we still had our outlets that we had to some type of way get repaired. So after that, I told Goodbaby, let's look at this electrical box and see if we can figure some things out ourselves. We looked at the electrical box and I told Goodbaby, I can see where the 15 amp looks like it's off. Like, you know, you have your 30 amp, that said on. And then next to the 30 amp, it said 15 amp. And for some reason, that one said off. And then I think it had like a 10 amp. And I think it even had a 40 amp. I'm going to have to find out how to learn the ins and outs of our electrical box, because that's important. And I need to know how to work that electrical box, okay? But we wound up calling someone to come out. And they came out. Again, I had told Goodbaby, I think if I turn that 15 amp to on, our power will work.
Yeah, but I wanted to look it up beforehand to see if that was a good idea, because of course when it comes to anything related to gas or electricity, we're not the type of people to mess with that because we don't want any explosions and we certainly do not want to get electrocuted. So I looked it up to see if that was a good idea to do, and from my results it said not to do that, like basically like hastily. So I was just warning Goodmommy, I mean, we can do it, but I didn't know what would happen if we had, since we had never touched that before. So we were just a little bit cautious, and so we decided, like Goodmommy said, to call someone to come out just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, but I, for some reason, just felt in my spirit that if I turned that 15 amp on, that our electricity was going to work. But we went ahead and called someone to come out. And they had, of course, a service charge to come out. But we wanted our electricity working. But the guy went ahead and came out. I told him the situation about our outlets going out. And when he came in, y'all guess what he did?
He flipped that switch, good family.
The same switch that I thought would restore our electricity is what he flipped on. So I asked him. Now, when I was looking at the electrical box, because I was going to get my service charge money's worth out of him, okay? He didn't just come over here to charge me a service fee and I was just going to pay it and I wasn't going to learn anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm paying you this service fee because I agreed to it. But you're going to show me some things in this box. So I asked him, I noticed that our 30 amp was still on, okay? It was on. Okay, and I'm putting my hands up so that y'all can see what I saw in the box. And I noticed our 15 amp was off. It was like you turn your lights off.
Yeah, like a light switch, kind of.
Yeah. And I noticed the 10 amp, I believe that was the next amp, was on. And then I believe it's a 40 amp. And I noticed the 40 amp was on.
Yeah, everything else was on but that one.
And he says, yes, he said that was a problem. All you had to do was turn that 15 amp on and you would have gotten your outlets restored.
Wow.
I said, get out of here.
And I was surprised as well, good family, because while this was happening, me and Victory were sitting in a truck so that way the man could come in and work on our RV, and I noticed how quickly it was.
He was just in and out.
Yeah,
right?
So in and out. I was expecting him to be in there for a little while. I thought he was maybe gonna have to mess with some wiring, do some different things, but it was like maybe 2 minutes and he was back outside our RV going to his truck.
So he said, yes, anytime that happens, it just means you've exceeded your amp usage. All you need to do is go down there and flip that switch. Baby, I said, here, get this card, charge that fee, and be on your way. Thank God it wasn't that much of a charge. And as always, God provides.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what happened to us. If any of you ever go through that, be sure to check your electrical box, because 9 times out of 10, it's just the flip of a switch. Okay, you just need to flip that. You just need to turn the lights back on, basically, right, good baby?
Yes.
Just turn your lights back on. Don't call anybody for service. Turn your lights back on.
Yes.
That's what we should have done. I should have just said, you know what? I'm doing this anyway. I'm turning.
I'm sorry. I felt like bad about it after she told me, because I'm like, had I not told her not to flip that switch, in fact, had I not even asked her to make us a sandwich at all, we wouldn't have even been in that situation.
No, it wasn't your fault, girl. Things happen for a reason. Things happen so that we could learn that electrical box, okay? We needed to learn the electrical box. No one ever explained the electrical box, and we did not know how to use it. Sometimes you have to pay for what you learn, and that was just a moment that we had to pay for what we needed to know. You got to pay for that knowledge sometimes.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't a lot, thank God.
Thank you, Lord.
Good baby and I were thinking they were going to be like $200, $300, $500.
No.
But no, it was a small amount that we paid, and again, we gained a lot of knowledge.
And even though we say this all the time, and this is a situation that could have been avoided, I thank God so much for each other, how much we worked together through the situation. We didn't allow it to be something that made us, upset with one another. We just pushed through it from the very beginning. We did what we could to solve the situation, and even when we couldn't solve it, or so we thought anyway, we thank God so much for the family He's blessed us with, so that we had somewhere to go,
honey.
because everyone does not. Just imagine if we didn't have anywhere else to go, then we would have been stuck in our cold RV for the whole night. And so I thank God that even though there was a price to pay, I thank God we got knowledge for it, and that, we have family members who really have our backs in times of need.
Yeah, that's true, because everyone don't have family members like that. Some people have family members and they won't help them. And some people just don't have family members that they can call,
Yeah.
And so I thank God that my mom is always there. My sister, I'm quite sure if I called my sister, she would have told us to come over. And another thing I want to say, I thank God my mom keeps a clean house, y'all. It's
You
nothing
definitely
like,
inherited
going
that
into a clean, I really inherited that from my mom. And I'm so glad we go over there, the bed is ready, okay?
Yes.
You don't have to get it ready. It's ready. Everything is clean. I mean, she's orderly. And that's where I get my cleanliness and organization from, my mom, because my mom keeps her house like immaculate, okay? I just love going over there, especially when we have to spend the night.
Yes. It's like a little sleepover.
Yeah, it's like a little sleepover. You have your own little suite, Just go in the room. You got your bathroom in your room. I just
so
love
nice.
it.
Yeah.
All we need to do is put a little refrigerator in there and a little stove, and we're good.
We're good.
Anyway, I just thank God so much. Now, we are still going to have to learn how to light our pilot light. I know that.
Yeah.
So we've already gotten with our neighbor. He is going to teach us. He's going to go from A to Z, taking the propane tank down again, bringing the propane tank back, turning the propane tank to on. You know, sometimes it's like going to school. You got to relearn, or you got to learn things. Going to the furnace, opening that up, and all of the things that we need to know to light that pilot. Okay, so that way we won't have this issue again. I may not be a gas girl, but guess what? Sometimes you have to do some things that you don't want to do. And I truly don't want to do it, but I can't keep asking my neighbor to do it. I'm going to have to learn how to do it for Goodbaby and I. So, and it's something good that Goodbaby can learn, you know, how to do as well. So, yeah, we're grateful and thankful that we always come through smiling, always come through winning, always come through because we have God on our side.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of this video. And the word of the day is experience, because there's always a lesson to be learned, and there's always a new experience for us to encounter. So y'all be sure to comment the word of the day. That lets Goodbaby and I know that you stay until the very end.
And as always, if you haven't already, please be sure to give today's video a humongous thumbs up and subscribe to our channel down below. Also, please hit that notification bell so you'll never miss any of our future videos. Click the link in our description box to become a channel member today. Share our channel with your family and friends so our family can continue to grow. And press the hype button beside the comments underneath this video so you can let the YouTube algorithm know that you're enjoying our content and other people will as well.
And don't forget, be good to yourself and be good to others. Love you all. Bye.
Rolling down the highway, windows down wide, living life together, it's a beautiful ride. Good mommy and good baby, a love so strong, adventure in our hearts.